Hey folks, how's it going today? All right, so you got this is kind of like a bonus stream here as we are pulling this out. I'm going to open up another one of these projects. Let's see. I'm going to look for. Give me a second. Documents. Keybase. It's up here. Keybase projects. And 12 string. Is that it? Ambient 1. Stage 1. Bingo. That should open now. It's going to take a little time. Anyways, today, the theme of today is I finally got this done. This is a hollowbody Rosewood instrument, and it is Indian rosewood, front and back. It's a wangy neck, very beautiful, dark black everything. A black aluminum pickguard, which is really nice. A metal, black metal pickup ring for the humbucker. A black, they call them, these are short ashtray telly bridge, and of course it's taking a sweet time to load up. A short ashtray telly bridge with brass saddles. I have CTS pots. I have a good switch. I also have this is a premium CTS push-pull, which is very nice. And then to close everything out is a bone nut and Wilkinson tuners. Let me rearrange my stuff here, so I'm going to be able to see what I'm looking at here, what you're looking at. So in order to demo this, I am going to bring this. This is a project that got opened up. I believe this was like 2018. Just I over the years, every time I've tried to kickstart the writing activity of writing, I put together a whole bunch of these little pieces of things and then just archive them, and then after a while I go through and I start to tabulate, to listen to what I've gotten. This one is one of those things, something interesting that I think will potentially be pretty decent for the future. More about this. So I got this originally for I don't know, if I can't remember if I demoed or I played the original solid body Rosewood that I built for Fran, and then he sent it back and I had to hollow it out and then put on a Honduran Rosewood back on it, on the Indian Rosewood body. But when I was doing that, I got a little freaked out, thinking like I could really severely screw that up. So I bought this, I ordered this hollowbody instrument, hollowbody body, from my supplier in India, who obliged, sent it to me, and it turned out really well. But then, of course, the original instrument I built for Fran also turned out really well. I in the end, I wanted to send Fran back his original instrument with the Rosewood neck, the Rosewood body, and all the accoutrements of a Johnny Greenwood instrument. So this is not that. This is a what we got in here is a standard, but a black cover, standard Telly neck pickup. We have a Wilkinson Alnico 5 bridge pickup, and it sounds pretty nice. I mean, I'm gonna shut the effects off here because I think that we need to hear it clean. Again, this is going through my RK5. I turned off the top camera because the floor is a mess as I'm trying to get things straightened out. But I have the effects chain is I'm plugged into my TC Electronics Plethora X5, which is a really wonderful combined pedal for digital effects. There's a bunch of tone prints on here that I've gotten from online. There's a ton of really cool stuff available online you can download, and you'll hear it. Then so in the effects loop of the Plethora X5, I've got the RK5, which is the Sans amp plus a overdrive pedal and a couple other effects. There's like a rotary speaker / delay, and then a reverb over there. Although I'm finding that the Plethora stuff is for the digital reverbs and everything are really good. So, anyways, so this is what it sounds like essentially. So what did I do? What do I do when I put these things together? I'll give you a little rundown. So of course, going through, I had to kind of install a bit of a shim. I made this out of the shim out of Honduran mahogany, and brought the neck up. It could probably stand to go down a little bit by about maybe 1/8 of an inch, but it actually the neck, everything feels really good right now, so I don't want to futz with it. I also then got keeping in theme, a black neck plate, and went with my stainless steel neck bolts. Once I got it, it was pretty rough, so I have to run it through the oscillating disc sander to get the sides nice and smooth, and then I go by hand to really finish it out. Run it through the planer a couple times to make a nice top, as you can see. And then finally, with Franz, I did an oil finish. Did a true oil finish, and that turned out pretty well. Although it definitely has a bit of an oily feel to it. Doesn't come off; it just feels oily. And this one, what I did was I used the StuMac clear gloss spray lacquer, and I sprayed it. I wasn't expecting it to turn out very well because rosewood is an oily wood, and so I expected that the lacquer would go on and it wouldn't really solidify or dry well, but this turned out extremely well. It's really nice. It's got a nice sheen to it. I put on about 5 or 6 coats of the clear gloss lacquer on it, and then come back with 600, 1000, 2000, 3000 grit wet dry sandpaper, and do the wet sanding And then finally with the 3000, I've got the StewMac polish compound. It's got tiny little grits in it. Put it on, and I ran the 3000 with the polishing compound, and boy did it turn out nice. I just put a single coat of the lacquer on the neck, because you don't need to finish these things. The Wengi is oily enough that you don't really need to finish it, just like the Rosewood. Not quite as oily as the Rosewood though. And so that's that. And I'm trying to see the seam for the fretboard. Well, there is. I think what they did was the manufacturer took a slice off the top and then put the truss rod and everything in, and then put the slice back on, because this looks, well, no, I could be wrong, but it's I mean, profoundly well matched. Like, I don't see any seam of the fretboard, which led me to believe this is Wengi, but it could very well be Rosewood. But it's really nice. So I got the finishing done. Of course, drilled out the place where the bridge goes in. I think this was one of the very first hollow body tellies that my supplier had put together, because when I started looking at mounting the bridge, usually when you have a hollow body, there's like a block, there's a solid block or some sort of support underneath the bridge, so that you don't, crack it or destroy your top. It has something to support to, because there's quite a lot of tension. Like, each one of these strings represents somewhere between 16 and 20 foot-pounds of pressure, and so the combined value of all this has got to be pretty close to 100 pounds, foot-pounds. So what I ended up doing was I took some more of the Honduran Rosewood, which I got on one of the other sites, and I sandwiched a couple of pieces together and slid it through the control cavity and epoxied it in between the top and the inside of the back of the body. And with the epoxy, it solidifies it really nicely. And so I have now this nice and solid piece of wood underneath to support this, and it's still hollow all the way around. There was a solid piece of wood down the middle here, but of course it ended right after the pickup. So we fixed that. That took a little effort, and then after I put it all together is when all the finesse work happens. So that usually involves tweaking the truss rod, getting with as straight a neck as you can, as straight up fretboard as you can get when you tension the truss rod after you get the strings on. Set the intonation and the action, and keep on iterating till you find that place. And then finally, well, not finally, but as soon as all that business is done, I get all the fret tools to level the frets, recrown them with the Z file, and then go with the Dremel and a polishing disc and polish up each of the frets. And that's what I've done, and I'm able to get this action down to less than a couple millimeters at the 12th fret. Of course, I filed the fret, the string channels in the nut, and then do a final setup, and this is where we're at right now. I've got the strap locks on, and all the knobs, everything's tested, wired, and this is what you come up with. So this is the right now this is the humbucker. The strings are pretty fresh, they're still stretching out. Anyways, so now with the knob down, I'm getting just a single coil tone coming from it. When I pull the knob up, I'm getting the humbucker. In the middle, of course, it's now I got the knob down. It's the two single coils. And I get that, and then finally the neck. So if I lift this up, it does kind of distort. It kind of clips at the front end a little bit, just naturally because there's so much signal going through. But there's this now. Let's put on some effects. I was messing around with this earlier. And what I've got on here, this is going to be clean, and I'm using the Plethora X5 with 2 reverbs, like a short reverb that's just like a spring verb on an amp. I've got a chamber, which has some interesting sort of synthy sounds to it. I've got a very like a medium length, a quarter note delay on it, and a pitch shifter, which I stole from. I think I stole this from. It says Brainwaves. I think it could be Guthrie Govan, or it could be. It doesn't say. Anyways, it's a bit of a mashup. Pitch shifter. All it does is give a slight chorus to it, but it thickens the tone quite a bit. So let's run through and hear what we've got. So that's all that's the nice sort of sparkly clean tone that you can get out of this thing. I'm going to turn a couple of these things off. I'm going to leave the reverb and the delay, the amp reverb, the spring reverb and the delay on. I'm going to put on the overdrive. All right. Now that is simply with the overdrive on. But as I demoed in the last video, I have a clone of a Klon Centaur, and I'm gonna kick that on. And there you have it. So this is John's telly. As I was, I guess the final bit of the story is as I was putting this together, and I put it in the description of the or previous description of the video before going live. I've been doing these videos a while, and I've been presenting some of my creations, assemblies, creations, as I still do on Facebook, and so one of my Facebook friends, John, reached out and asked if I was interested in putting a T-style guitar together, and so I asked if it needed to be traditional or not, and he really wasn't committal about it, so I said, I have this beautiful instrument for you, and we settled on a price. I finished it up, and this is the demo. And John, I hope you really love this. This is a beautiful instrument. You can tell it plays super well, super easily, and then for anybody else who's interested in instruments, as you can see, I've got, I keep a few of them around. But I've also got some that are on the go, and so just reach out. We can talk. I've got the way that I approach doing these things is any one of these instruments I would be perfectly comfortable going on stage and playing for the entire night by itself, without any trepidation whatsoever. And so these are all built and set up as if I was going to be playing them myself. And as a result, you get a really extremely well built instrument. You can reach out to Dave Kersner. He's got 2 of them. You can reach out to Fran, if you're watching, you could comment on your instrument as well. Andy Edwards has one of my instruments over in UK, and I know he's used it on some of his YouTube work, demonstrating some of the interesting chop stuff that I've definitely watched, and of course he did also like some clinics with it. So I've got a few people who could vouch for the quality of these things. But again, reach out, we can talk, and I am done. It's 1:20 local time. I hope to talk to you guys soon. In the meantime, I'm going to try and play you out with this little thing that I've got going on here. Let's see if it thanks, folks. Have a great rest of your day.